Welcome to the Apex Comics Group panel. My name is Mariano Nicieza, and we're going to have a fun and entertaining program for you. Brand new companies being launched, brand new projects being announced, and fantastic artwork for all you comic book art lovers. Let's jump right into it. This piece of artwork I'm holding is part of a 9 trading card art collage piece that will be part of a trading card set that we're going to release in 2021. And this is a little bit of a sneak preview at a painted piece of art we've got. It includes Phazer universe characters, Blue Sultan, Agent 30, Blackray, Slate, Biomech, all sorts of characters. Phazer Universe stars the titular character Phazer, who's behind me in this beautiful painted canvas piece of art. Phazer is the story of scientist Mark Moreno, victim of a sabotaged classified experiment. Uncontrollably, he shifts through the time stream where his altered molecular structure manifests different paranormal powers in every time period he lands in. Hunted by a shape-shifting alien, his daily existence is a fight for survival as he struggles to find a cure and return to the world he's left behind. He is Phazer, man of 1,000 powers. Phazer isn't fighting an alien invasion on his own. He has allies. Allies like Agent 30, who's a special forces operative who's been captured in Iraq, injected and subjected to all sorts of experiments with alien DNA, and the result has changed her to a hybrid human-alien with all sorts of powers. And of course, she's got this amazing armor that she wears. Another ally of Phazer is Blackray. Blackray is an underwater amphibian, a hybrid human and amphibious creature. He changes shape when he hits water. This is what he looks like on land. And he can manipulate electricity like an electric eel. Very cool character, and he's part of a submarine crew. He's the captain of the Ocean Spear submarine. All sorts of great adventures that mix into the Phazer universe. Shape-shifting alien invaders, all sorts of cosmic and time-traveling shenanigans, but that's not enough. We need a superpowered terrorist, and that's the Blue Sultan. Every hero needs a foil, and the Phazer universe has the Blue Sultan, among others, but he's the primary baddie. I enjoy writing and illustrating Phazer, but I've also had some help from tremendous artists. Jim Steranko, Ariel Olivetti, and the capable Sam Carlin have all lent a hand in helping to produce the adventures of Phazer.
Hi, this is Wilson Ramos. I'm the art director here at Apex Comics. I get to work on a ton of great books. One of them is Phazer. It's a wonderful, I would almost call it Silver Age type book, which is just classic superhero, sci-fi type of stuff. And I get to work closely with the creator Mariano Nicieza and get to talk about this design work on it. Designing the logo, helping with the lettering, sometimes some coloring here and there. So it's one of those books where I enjoy it, and I hope you will too. Thank you.
Up next, I'm proud to announce the award-winning Atomic Age is at Apex Comics Group. All 4 chapters are fully loaded and available on Comixology today. This is a great story written by my good friend Frank Lovece, fantastic and award-winning artist Mike Akamoto, and of course the late great Al Williamson doing inks.
This is Frank Lovece. I'm co-creator and writer of Atomic Age. What is Atomic Age? Atomic Age was one of the best projects that Marvel Comics creator-owned line Epic Comics put out. And the reason I say this is because penciler Mike Okamoto, whose work you see behind me, won the Russ Manning Best Newcomer of the Year award for his work. and the legendary Al Williamson won the Eisner Award for Best Inker. Atomic Age is set in that time, in 1957 Los Angeles, when UFOs seemed real, when atomic bombs were going off at test sites, and when Sputnik made everybody nervous. Plus, those cars had those big, weird tail fins for some reason. The story concerns three primary individuals. One is Nimbus, the dark gentleman behind me over here. He is an alien slave catcher because the working slaves, the drones of this planet, life has become intolerable for them. And so now they want to commit species-wide extinction, what we call geneticide. It's up to him to stop it. And of course, there are complications on the road to that. Among those complications are two human beings. One is Colonel John Patrick Lear. He's an Army officer at the end of his career and the end of this rope. He's babysitting a bunch of pampered sons of the rich on some tropical paradise army base in the South Pacific. The other is a Latino journalist in 1957 LA, Joe Nunez, who's so put upon, but he's really good, so the white newspaper he works for tolerates him. He still faces a lot of racial prejudice, and the prescient and terrible thing about it is that 60 years later, after 1957, 30 years after the story was first published, the characters' problems are still topical, are still happening today. It is frightening and scary and awful and sobering. These very two different men, a Latino journalist and a by-the-book, washed-up, bitter Army colonel, band together to exploit the arrival of this first confirmable extraterrestrial presence on Earth, and it changes the both of them. So I hope you like Atomic Age. The Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists applauded it for what it called its wry satire with Cold War politics. So, if you want some great art and some wry satire on Cold War politics, please go to Comixology and get Apex Comics 4-issue Atomic Age. I think you'll enjoy it.
Hi, Wilson Ramos again. I'm the art director here at Apex Comics, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about Atomic Age. Atomic Age is one of those books that's a lot of fun because here we're dealing with telling a story that takes place in the 50s and the 60s, the early days of comics, and it feels like that. It's a pulp noir type of feeling to it. The book was already done by the time I got to join into the crew, so I'm pretty much helping with the production of it, putting it together for digital and eventually print. So it's one of those projects that is a lot of fun, and I hope you join us with this story. Thanks.
Phazer Universe titles are available anywhere you can get digital comics and ebooks. Amazon Kindle, iBook, Nook, and of course Comixology. Phazer Universe titles are also available in print. And at the end of this program, we're going to have an amazing and exciting San Diego exclusive announcement. So stay tuned about a new Phazer project that we're going to be launching on the world very, very soon. In the meantime, let's talk about one of my favorite books, A Daze Work.
I grew up working on this boardwalk for over 20 years, hanging with my friends, making pizzas, and growing burgers.
I spent my summers working on a boardwalk just like this one. You get to work with your friends, you have great stories to tell.
Wacky and zany adventures.
The warm smells, we're going to convey the smells. Scratch and Sniff comic.
Every summer here was a crazy story, and we're bringing all those crazy stories to A Daze Work.
A Day's Work, what can I say? I'm not a millennial, but editing it, this millennial humor, pizza guys on the boardwalk thing was so funny, I'm literally laughing out loud while I'm editing it.
And now, I'm proud to introduce L.P. Feldman and one of the greatest creations that I have personally ever seen, Split City. I'm going to let him tell you all about it so he can do some real justice to this creation.
Hello, Comic-Con attendees. I'm L.P Feldman. Thanks for joining me to find out more about my explosive new hyper-realistic graphic miniseries Split City. And a very special thanks to Mariano Nicieza and his incredibly talented team at Apex Comics, especially artist Sam Carlin, for bringing my darkly satirical exploitation extravaganza to vivid life. Vivid life. I mean, it pops right off the page. It's a gritty, ultra-violent comic book noir with a snarky Pulp Fiction tone, cool and quirky characters, and a steampunk heavy metal sensibility. And it's my way of dealing with the scary and sorrowful world we're living in. So come with me now for a brief tour of Split City, New Jersey, the divorce, suicide, and murder capital of the Garden State. It's a town divided, where hatred and violence are the norm, life is cheap, and true love, just a fairy tale. It's the #1 suicide destination in America, where people who are too scared or too sad to live come to take the big fall and end it all. It's also a main attraction for morbid tourists who come to video the jumpers on Leap Street, one of the most famous suicide destinations in Split City, and it's designated a fallen body zone to boot. They also toured the suicide and murder rooms of the Broken Inn and watched the murderous mayhem in Dysfunction Junction. The town's a microcosm of our ever-divided world, and the book is a broad, over-the-top, action-packed satire of the senseless hatred and violence we seem to deal with every day in a nation where we're all supposed to be equal. But we're not. The city's split right down the middle, between the free thinkers and the fascists, the rich and the poor, the predators and their victims. And caught in the middle of it all are just plain folk trying to find love, harmony, and peace, and live the American dream, which for many has become a living nightmare. Yes, it's very close to home, and it's meant to be. We have a great diversified cast of larger-than-life characters, so let's meet them. We have Carlotta Trubel, a.k.a. Lotta Trouble, a kick-ass divorce attorney, and her live-in, love-in celebrity shrink, Angie Louvin, a.k.a. Dr. Love. Together, they're love and trouble. And Carlotta's younger sister, Tiffany Trubel. She's Split City's #1 heartbreaker, and she's driven more men to suicide than the stock exchange. Then we have Daphne and Dawn Derringer, a.k.a. the Double D's, orphan twin sisters in Private Eyes, who pattern their style after kick-ass black women like Foxy Brown and Cleopatra Jones, who beat the crap out of crooks in those great old 70s blaxploitation flicks. And keeping the peace by any means necessary are federal marshals Mike the Mallet O'Malley and Gus the Bus Gustavo. The Mallet and his special task force, the Peace Police, including Carlotta and Angie and the Double D's, are licensed by the state to kill all killers, terrorists, and hate murderers over 13 on sight. Because murderers are getting younger and younger these days, and it's just a terrible thing. Even bad cops, if necessary, if they're accountable too. Because in Split City, it's kill and be killed. This town has zero tolerance for terrorism, both homegrown and imported. With tough guys and gals, souped-up vehicles, gadgets galore, tense and literally explosive situations, Split City is one hell of a ride. And I hope you'll take it with me. Thanks for watching and enjoy the rest of the con. Peace out.
Split City. Now that's a lot of fun because this is basically creating a comic book style from the ground up. The writing is superb. There's some great design work in it and artwork, and I got to do everything from designing the logo and to coloring a lot of the pages. It's a pulpy book, very similar to Atomic Age in that regard, but at the same time there's some fun stuff, some funny things going on, and again, it's one of those projects that I get to really sink my teeth into because I get to help with the coloring by creating blends of how would you say the not only just coloring it, but the tone and things that are going on. It's a book that has some serious stuff going on it, but also in a funny way. So I hope you join with us with this book. And Split City, I think it's going to be one of those cool ones.
Some of this artwork from L.P. Feldman's Split City highlights fantastic pencil and ink artist Sam Carlin. Split City demonstrates tales of extreme, irreconcilable differences. It's known as the divorce capital of the Garden State, and it's just filled with amazing, fun characters, crazy off-the-wall situations. It's a tale of heartbreak, murder, suicide, greed, deception, everything you need in a perfect relationship. Let's cut right to Designated, an action-adventure sci-fi story that is just going to be fantastic. Mark Torres is going to tell you all about it.
Hello, this is Mark Torres, host of It Came From the Radio, the official show of the Big Apple Con. I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk about my book coming out from Apex Comics. It is Designated, coming out hopefully soon. It's a book with this cast right here. It is a 110-page graphic novel, fully beginning, middle, end story, complete story, surrounding these guys right here, being stuck in the middle of an intergalactic war between some aliens. They're fighting over this gem, or a Copernicus star, as I like to call it, these gems over here. And the war finds their way to Earth. This is some interiors from the book, inked by inking legend Peter Palmiotti. As I mentioned, the war brings them to Earth. We meet our main lead. And through a unique set of circumstances, the main characters gain superpowers. It's art by Jade Smith, with a multi-ethnic cast, sci-fi, superhero, alien type of deal. So hopefully you guys will check it out. Thank you for your time. And if you're interested, make sure you check out my radio show, It Came From the Radio. That's www.itcamefromradio.com. We have a new show each week. We are a syndicated radio show, so you got to talk about movies, comics, and entertainment. So hopefully you listen to us there. Be safe, and hopefully we'll see you in the future.
And now I'm happy to show you a quick sneak preview of some fantastic artwork for a title called Vampires vs. Nazis. And the title says it all. It's World War II. It's a film noir style book. It's Nazi Germany, and it's the height of the war. And Nazis are dropping dead in the streets and being found with puncture marks in their necks. And it's going up the chain. It's starting with the foot soldiers, it's climbing the ranks to officers, and ultimately, as the story progresses, this is going to get right to Hitler himself. As you peruse this fantastic artwork, it's also important to note, Vampires vs. Nazis is not just a horror story or an action adventure in World War II. It's also a love story. And it's a love story between a German soldier named Erich Ganz and a peasant woman named Helga Schmidt. And the tale intertwined into the backdrop of the madness and the craziness that was World War II. At the heart of all of this is a passionate love story. I think you're going to enjoy this book, and stay tuned, more to come. And now a special feature from a company called Cabin, brand new in the digital world, and we're going to take it away and learn a lot more. I have the pleasure of introducing a good friend, a great guy, Mr. David Lucatch, who is the co-founder of Cabin, a brand new company, very exciting. And let's jump right into this. let me ask you a couple of quick questions. And we're going to start with just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Wow, that's a big question, Mariano. Great to see you. Great to see everyone coming out to Comic-Con. I'm like yourself. I'm really sorry that we can't be there this year.
Yes.
I think, it's it'll be the first one I've missed in a while, and I won't be able to wear my Spider-Man Vans. But at the end of the day, so I mean, tell you a little bit about myself. Well, I've been a comic book collector since I'm a little kid, so for well over 50 years. I can remember the time where, as we've talked about this, my parents would give me 25 cents a week and I could buy 2 comic books. My father got me really into comic books by giving me $1 and taking me down in the city of Toronto to Captain George Whiz-Bang's comic book shop and let me go in and buy 20 books for $1. And it was just magical. Loved, Spider-Man, loved the superheroes. My first business actually was buying and selling collector comic books. And through the years, I had these wonderful opportunities in business to meet a lot of people. And I actually, as you know, I became friends with Stan in his later years. I worked with Disney. Yeah, great guy. I mean, always a lot of fun. I worked with Disney on many of the Marvel movies with one of my businesses and was on the red carpet for several of them. And my highlight story is I got a present. I got the tour of Tony Stark's apartment for Avengers 2. And it was given to me by Chris Hemsworth directly, as a one-on-one.
That's fantastic.
Right. So, and I love going to Comic-Con. And as you and I spoke about it, I just love the smell of a comic book. Right. So, when we started looking at the things we're doing with Cabin, which I'm sure we'll talk about, it was a natural to figure out how to integrate the comic book and the fantasy and the art industry into our project.
Fantastic. So I learned about Cabin through you, and really you've developed something called a liquid avatar. And I would love to hear more about liquid avatars.
Well, I'm going to, before I start with Liquid Avatar, I'm going to take a step back because I think it's really important that people understand what Cabin is. And Cabin is a company that specializes in helping people verify, manage, and monetize their digital identity. Now, why is that important? So your digital identity is really important because when we go online, it's really a challenge to prove who we are. And in the real world, we carry a wallet and we carry a key ring and, we carry other things, but primarily that helps us prove who we are when we go from place to place. But online, that's really challenging. And so how do we make that work? Well, to make it easy, we've developed something called a liquid avatar. And a liquid avatar is sort of the front facing of our product group. We have liquid avatar. We have our Cabin ID, which is basically the engine of our system. And then we have some revenue generators. So liquid avatar, very simply, is a digital representation of who you are. We like to say, show the world the digital you. Show the world who you are digitally. And a liquid avatar is a high quality icon that represents you. And you can have different icons for different facets of your personality. If you're a comic book collector, you could have one persona icon. If you're a dad or a part of a family, you can have another one. If you can have one for business. So liquid avatars are there to allow you to share what you want, when you want, with whom you want, safely and securely, both private and public data.
Sounds fantastic. So I've been involved in the comics industry most of my life. So now I have to ask you, the liquid avatar, the concept of entering the comic book, the fantasy, manga environment for liquid avatars. How did that come about? How did that connection happen?
Well, I think for me it was a natural. Trying to convince the rest of the team was probably a little more difficult. They're finally starting to understand the comic book industry, and I think if you can look over my shoulder, you can probably see some of my goodies. I'm still a big collector. And so I believe that, one of the easiest places to enter the market for what we're doing and getting people used to icons, avatars, is really in the comic book, fantasy, anime, manga industry. There's so many talented people out there. I will say that the liquid avatar product is available to consumers free of charge. There's no cost. You can verify, manage, and monetize your identity. You own your data. We don't own it. And that service is absolutely free. And you can create your own avatar using our creative studio. But we also know that there are opportunities to bring on some great comic book artists, some great fantasy artists, some great manga, anime, all types of different artists, both legends, top people in the industry, as well as new, exciting, emerging artists, and as well as some students and other people who would be not have the chance to start producing really great work. And we can do that in a digital format. We can also do that in a way that allows it to be a collector piece by literally assigning a digital certificate of authenticity based on blockchain technology right to that individual avatar. So it was natural for us to come to yourself and others in the industry and work together to make this a reality, because it's not only a passion project, but it's also something that makes sense. I mean, if you look at Fortnite, over $1 billion in skins. So it makes sense to allow people to start being creative and create a new facet of the industry where artists can make money from what they're doing.
That is very cool. Very, very cool. And speaking of artists, we've talked about a creator program that you have in mind. Can you tell us a little bit about that? Because this will be a big announcement for San Diego Comic-Con. This is a first, and this is a big one.
So I'm sure by the time we get to San Diego Comic-Con, a few things will have changed. And if they go to anyone goes to liquidavatar.com, they're going to see the changes. But I think what we're talking about today is sort of the overarching concept. We're creating a program called the Creator Program, which will have both Illustrator series and Signature series of liquid avatars. So there will be collectible opportunities for one-of-a-kinds, limited runs, series, and sets for people to collect liquid avatars and use them when in the digital world, promoting their personas. So people will be able to get professionally made art avatars or liquid avatars and display them as they want. So that's the Illustrator and the Creator series, and we're super stoked about this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and again, it's going to provide a new opportunity for artists to create a new source of income, and that'll all be available through something we call the Liquid Avatar Marketplace, and that'll be coming online just by the end of the summer. So people can visit in advance and pre-book some of the liquid avatars they want to have.
This is so cool, so exciting. And Apex is incredibly fortunate and happy to be part of all this.
Thank you. That's great.
Okay, this is fantastic. What are you doing that's going to be special for San Diego Comic-Con?
Well, Mariano, this, again, we're saying this a little bit early as we're recording it, and we're hoping that that by the time we get there, it'll be even more magical. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating an open call for young and emerging artists. We want to help new artists, students, people who are just starting out that really haven't made their professional debut yet. We want to help them create liquid avatar icons that they can sell to the general public. We want to be able to work with them. We want to commission them to be able to offer their wares and help them break into the industry. We think this is really important. As you know, there's a lot of people out there that are creating original IP, original drawings, original opportunities. And it's very, very difficult, especially given the current macro environment. A lot of books aren't making it to shelves. So we all know that that's happening too at the present time. So, we want to give them an opportunity to find a new outlet for their creative work. And we're going to be announcing by the time we get to San Diego Comic-Con an open call for these young emerging artists from around the world. So it's going to be an opportunity for them to break into the business, have an opportunity to work professionally, and really reach a large audience.
This is amazing, and this is sure to help a tremendous amount of talent out there to be seen and to be heard for the first time. So I'm very, very happy and proud to be part of this. Staying on that subject, rolling a little bit further with it, how can artists submit for this open call?
Well, I think the easiest way to tell them today is go to liquidavatar.com. I mean, there'll be more information by the time we get to San Diego Comic-Con. And I don't like to be talking as if it's a future event, but I think Liquid Avatar, www.liquidavatar.com is the best place for people to learn about those rules and the opportunities for submission. And I'm hoping, as we've talked about it, I'm hoping you're going to be on the submission board. I know that you said you will, but I'd like to, I'm inviting you publicly again. So, and we're hoping to have some really great artists around the table to help us, choose submissions and help people get started, or at the very least, help them get some feedback so we can take them on their way and mentor them a little bit.
I will be happy to help, and I'll be happy to call some friends and call some favors and get some industry professionals, real industry professionals involved. Well, it's going to be a lot of fun, and looking forward to it.
Thank you.
In summation and wrapping up, tell us what's next for Liquid Avatar. Tell us a little bit about the future of what's to come.
Well, there's a lot of really cool ideas that we've got on the table today. I mean, Liquid Avatar at its core is a very serious product with the Cabin ID program. It really is going to protect digital identity. So we like to say that's meat and potatoes, but Liquid Avatar, as you know, I like to call lemon meringue pie. I do like some other pies better, but it seems to always come back to lemon meringue pie. I think everybody can just grasp a nice fluffy pie with lemon, and I can go on forever about food. But having said that, some of the things we're looking at augmented reality. We think that the ability to integrate live gaming characters into Liquid Avatar would be uber cool. And, we're taking kind of our cues from something like Ready Player One. And we think that it's becoming closer and closer to becoming a possibility, especially with the power of mobile phones today and tablets. I mean, those compared to 20 years ago are the new supercomputers, right? There's so much we can do. And mobile technology with the Unity game engine, there's touch points everywhere. So we think there's a lot of opportunity to start looking at augmented reality. But again, we've got some very, very serious features inside of Liquid Avatar that makes it really important for you to, again, verify, manage, and monetize your own identity. And we're hoping to add more and more artists to the table, giving people more opportunity to create value, both artistically and functionally, and just keep moving the product forward.
Beautiful. Fantastic. David, I want to thank you very, very much for coming on board and introducing the fans, the audience, about Cabin and about Liquid Avatars. Stay tuned. A little later in this program, we're going to have a special announcement about an Apex project that we're working on, specifically with Liquid Avatar, and it's going to be amazing and a tremendous amount of fun. And now, a special feature from my friends at Factory Entertainment. Tom, take it away.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Mariano. My name's Tom Vargas. I'm with Factory Entertainment. We're a manufacturer and distributor of officially licensed collectibles from great properties like Jurassic Park and Jaws, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, and a whole slew of other great brands that I'm sure everybody loves. We make things like prop replicas and tin totes, scaled replicas, all sorts of different types of collectibles. So it's great to be a part of another panel with Apex and Phazer. And it's a shame that we can't be there in person this year, given the pandemic and everything else that's going on. So something like this is really special. And keeping that in mind, we decided at Factory Entertainment to do our own online version of a Comic-Con to an extent, almost like an in-booth experience. So what's great about what's going on at factoryent.com right now is we have a series of streamed videos that we created where we put up for for sale and for viewing some of our own convention exclusives. So you can see things that we would normally offer at our booth that we normally offer at our booth every year in San Diego. Things like statues and all sorts of barware. Like this year we came out with an Aquaman Trident cocktail fork set, which is really a lot of fun, a little bit different than some of the bottle openers that we'd historically come out with. And even things like a Wonder Woman scaled God Killer replica and a Frisbee as well. And we also have some great art statues from the Beatles and They Live, and even Wizard of Oz. It's a really, really cute Toto art statue that we have coming out. So again, it's really great, and it's always a special thing to be involved in one of these online panels with Mariano. And thank you guys so much. We hope everybody's staying safe, and we look forward to seeing you guys again real soon at the first convention that we can all celebrate at. So thank you. Check out factoriant.com.
We've made it a point to continually branch out above and beyond printed and digital comics. Apex Comics Group brands its properties with all sorts of fun merchandise. And there are some examples of this with a debit card program from our partners at card.com, and all sorts of cards are available on their website and on apexcomicsgroup.com that will show off this amazing art and these amazing cards that you can own. Above and beyond what we've done in the past, 2020 and 2021 are going to launch brand new merch properties, gold coins, and $2 bills for the Phazer universe and Phazer universe characters. There are going to be Phazer coins, Agent 30 coins, Blue Sultan coins, Blackray coins. I think you get the idea. But this beautiful artwork highlights how much fun this is actually going to be. I promised you at the conclusion of the program that we were going to have a fun announcement, and here it is. We've been having a tremendous success with all sorts of creators, writers, artists that have worked with us over the years. And the time has come to develop a very special comic book project. This is going to be a print project. It'll be released digitally and in print, but it's going to be a crowdfunder. And it's going to be a crowdfunder with some very big, notable names. Fabian Nicieza is going to be involved, Tom DeFalco, Jim Steranko, Ariel Olivetti, Ron Friends, and many, many more industry professionals right alongside brand new talent. So this will be an open call where I am going to be soliciting for artists and writers to step on board, and we're going to produce a big album-sized comic, very similar to what Marvel and DC did with their anniversary issues, the 96-page giants. We're going to have a lot more information. Check apexcomicsgroup.com, and hopefully you can all join us. This is the first piece. It's been produced from a rough layout from Jim Steranko that he used to produce the Phazer poster in 2010. And this has been embellished and inked over by Joe Del Beato. And it's just a sample of some of the stuff that's going to come. Just some fantastic things that we're planning. Come along for the ride. Everyone stay safe in 2020 and have fun.